Hello everybody, if you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today I'm excited to be doing a full face of Catrice Cosmetics with you guys. So Catrice, for those of you guys who don't know, is Essence's big sister, relatively new to the Canadian market, very reasonable and affordable price point, great quality products. It's a European brand. Face scrub just fell off my desk. Anyways, it's a relatively new to Canada brand. It is pretty reasonable price. You can buy it in the drugstore. Just a warning if you are looking for it. I've picked up a few products myself at Shoppers Drug Mart, and at Shoppers I find it's usually an end cap. Just like Essence, it's usually an end cap about like yay wide. I'm sure that really helps on your computer screen. Maybe 2 feet wide, give or take. Typically an end cap, great selection, great price point. Really, really beautiful products. I think if you're new to makeup, it's a great place to start. I think you're going to find some quality pieces to play with there. Basically everything in this look is Catrice, other than the bronzer I used a little bit of, an eyeliner, and a lip liner, but everything else is Catrice. I want to share a really quick little Catrice memory with you guys. About 4 or 5 years ago, I went on a educational trip to Poland and Germany, and it was when we were in Germany, we had some free time in Berlin, and I think it was near the beginning of our trip, I think. And we had kind of a couple of free hours. So one thing I love doing when I travel is going into drugstores and makeup stores in other countries and just see like what brands do they have that we don't, or what brands do we have that they don't. And I'd heard of Catrice, but I'd never tried it before. And Essence was relatively new to Canada, I think, at the time. And Essence had like 4 times the amount of space. Like there were so many products I had never seen in Canada, like nail polish colors I'd never seen. It was massive. And I bought a few Essence products, and I bought a few Catrice products. I think it was a lipstick. Anyways, it had long since expired, been thrown out or decluttered, but it was really kind of fun for me to see them come to Canada and to get to play with their products. And as you guys know, I'm working on a best of the drugstore / like a drugstore starter kit. So part of me doing this kind of brand review start is it's helping me sort of revisit either old products or try out new products with anticipation of building that drugstore starter kit for you guys. So leave some comments down below if there's any other drugstore brands you want me to try to do a video like this on, or high-end brands. You guys know I love high-end brands. So just really quick, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. My name's Alana here at Classy on the Run. We love talking about all things beautiful. We really focus on just beautiful, like you but better polished looks you can wear to work or to the office, which I guess is work, on Zoom calls if you're in a pandemic still when you're watching this, to school, just every day, just feeling pretty looks. So I love this look I've put together, and let's get into it. So I am going to start this look off with the Prime and Fine Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. Now this can be used as a primer or as a finishing spray. So I'm going to use it as both. It prepares the skin, it improves makeup wear, and refreshes the complexion. So a tip I recently picked up is rather than like spraying it all over your face, spray it on a nice brush and then just sort of tap and roll it onto your skin. And when it stops to feel moist, you'll know that you need a little more. I'm sort of tapping it, rolling it. I've been really enjoying this setting spray because it makes the skin feel really good, and it definitely wears beautifully under makeup. Like, I think this is fantastic. I really like it. I like that it makes the skin like a little bit sticky, which is what we want when we're applying our foundation. So for foundation today, I'm going to be using their HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. Lasts up to 24 hours, mattifying, second skin effect. So I typically don't look for mattifying products, but I definitely agree with the second skin effect. It's lightweight, non-oily, it feels like a second skin. I've been posting some pictures on Instagram of me just sort of testing it out. It's a nice dropper. I use the shade 005 in Ivory Beige. So I'm going to use just a Real Technique sponge, and I just use one of my million like spray waters to moisten it. It's also totally fine to use normal water. I just don't have access to normal water in my beauty room. Okay, I get nice and damp. Give it a little squeeze. And so what I do is I take the foundation and I use about a squeeze and a half. So I put it on the back of my hand. So that's like one squeeze. That's a little more. So I've got the foundation there on my hand. I think the bottle's very nice. Like, I don't expect, like, this is a nice heavy frosted glass bottle. It's probably, I want to say, the nicest like foundation bottle I've ever seen in the drugstore. Like, it doesn't feel like a drugstore product. So then what I just do is I just use my finger and I just put some little dots like all over my face. And I find that because it does have that second skin effect that they claim, like, it does really feel like skin. You're still seeing some of those imperfections and just like the natural texture of skin sort of peeking through. So I'm just going to go in with their concealer. This is the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. Lasts up to 12 hours and waterproof. And again, I'm using a really, really pale shade. I'm using 005. So what I like to do is just take this and I just sort of tap it on. Just if I see, like right now, just a little bit of redness sort of peeking through. I got a little too much sun the other day. And then just if I want a little more coverage, I just pop in there. Now, I'm not putting any like directly on my eyelid, but as it picks up on the sponge, I will go over that again. And I find doing it this way, it still gives you that bit more coverage, but it sort of just shears it out. And then what I'm just going to do to just finish it off is I do have a little bit more product on the back of my hand. So I'm just going to start by just dabbing it around my face and just sort of build this on top. So that way it's all just like even. And again, I wouldn't really describe this as necessarily full coverage. It's definitely high coverage, but when I think of full coverage foundation, like a full coverage foundation, in my opinion, like covers up every single thing. And I feel like you can still see like some of my lighter freckles and a little bit under my eye just sort of peeking through. So it's definitely like it photographs beautifully. It's beautiful on camera. It's higher coverage than I typically reach for like on an everyday basis, but it's very, very pretty, and it just settles very, very nicely onto your face. Look at there. So to top it off, I have their Prime and Fine Mattifying Powder. This is waterproof. It's transparent. So that's what it looks like. The compact has a nice mirror. Again, this looks a little bit more like what I'm used to seeing in the drugstore, but it does have a nice heft to it, and I like the mirror. So I'm just going to go in with this brush, and I'm just going to kind of tap it on my T-zone. And just a little over here. So Catrice was very generous and they sent me a lot of products, but the one thing I didn't get sent was a bronzer. So I'm just going to really quickly go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow. Or I should say, okay, they sent a highlighting bronzer. I'll show you in a second. But it doesn't quite work on me for what I like this product to do. Like I really like this particular bronzer as kind of a soft like contour and to kind of warm up. So that's all I'm doing with that. So I will show you, they sent me a highlighter palette, but that's just too, it's sort of bronzy, but it's just too shimmery for the kind of bronzing that I want to do. So they also sent over this blush palette. This is from the Catrice a mom collection. The colors have beautiful names. There's Shisha, Alexandria, Elixir, and Cairo. And I do like this palette, but I find the colors are a bit too vibrant on me. So I just picked up with my own money this Catrice blush box in the shade Glistening Pink. And it says, Go, Win, Cheer. It's just this beautiful, soft pink. And I love it. And it's just so flattering on me. So I'm just going to, on the apples of the cheeks, just give it a little. See, I think that blush palette would be a lot more flattering on people with a little bit of a deeper complexion than me. But this really soft pink on me, it just gives such like a beautiful, healthy flush. Like, how pretty is that? I think the one thing where the drugstore really struggles is blush. And I've always had a hard time finding a blush I like in the drugstore. But I think this one is really, really nice. So we are going to use a Mom's Collab palette, their highlighter palette. So I'm obsessed with the names in this one because they're Canadian. We've got Whistler, Victoria, Surrey, and Maple. So what I like to do is, because I have a hard time choosing, I'm just taking this tapered brush from Sephora and I'm going to go in with Victoria, Whistler, and Surrey, just kind of like tapping my brush between them and just sort of rolling it around. Give it a little tap off. And just sort of right along that C. A little up here. And I'm just kind of continuing to tap it in those three. And again, we have a really just beautiful, luminous glow. Another product from Catrice that I think is really nice is the Light Correcting Primer and Serum. I've been using sometimes that like under my foundation and then doing my foundation and then putting the highlighter on top. But it's not really necessary, but it is really, really cute. Little itch on my nose. So I did not get a brow product from Catrice, so I'm just going to pop in with my ColourPop brow pencil in Taupe. I just had to step away a minute for a call, but we are almost done our base. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take that big brush. This one's by Real Techniques. It's their Point XL, so it's like a large, almost like a large dome brush. And what we're going to do instead of setting our face, so I don't like this going like on my eyeshadow, so we are going to set our face the same way we primed it by spraying the brush. I find the other things I actually find this conserves product, that was just 2 sprays to get the whole face. I'd probably do like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. So we're just gonna kind of gently tap and roll along here. One thing I also wanted to share is as I was playing with these products and sort of like testing them out, because I thought about doing a first impressions, but then you know what, like first impressions are fun, but they don't help you guys get to know the products. And so I was doing that. I sprayed it on the sponge and then I tapped it, but I found the sponge picked up too much product and it actually left my face kind of splotchy. But by spraying it on the brush and just patting it, it still kept that very beautiful, luminous, skin-like, I'd almost say airbrush finish. And this just like keeps it all day. Part of me, I don't want to be like, it'll leave your foundation on forever, because it's not like we're going outside or going to work, but it really has just stayed beautifully on my skin. And again, I know you guys really liked that last vlog I did, so I am working on another weekly vlog and you're going to see me wearing these products as well, and just it stays beautiful throughout the day. So now we're going to move on to eyes. Now I was sent 3 different eyeshadow palettes. I was sent Badass Bay, which I haven't dipped into yet. It's a very warm color story. It reminds me a lot of Tarte Toasted. And these are like, there's beautiful gold and like warm shades, but that's just not really the colors I'm reaching for lately. But I've really been enjoying Basic Bay and Self-Made Bay. So Basic Bay has little like coffee, like gold coffee cups on it. And it is just a really neutral toned palette. This is a beautiful everyday eyeshadow palette. I've been really enjoying this one over the last week or two. And then there's Self-Made Bay, which has gold dollar signs all over it. And this one very much has like a modern Ren, like an Anastasia Beverly Hills modern Renaissance type feel. As you can see, all the shadows have a little gold box around them. You got some kind of like fuchsias and purples. This is the palette I'm going to be using today. I wore it yesterday. I really loved it. I really love like this section of the palette. Kind of those like mauve, plum, kind of like shimmery type colors. And just like the moment I opened up these palettes, and particularly Basic Bay, I was immediately sort of reminded of the Tarte palettes, of like Tarte in Bloom. And what I love about the Tarte palettes is they have just really positive and supportive type of shade names. And so I really love that Catrice has sort of channeled that or echoed that. And so in this palette that we're going to use for Self-Made, I want to read to you guys some of the color names from each of the palettes. We've got Self-Made, CEO, Empire, Role Model, Queen, Boss, Favorite of Mine, Equal Pay. In Basic Bay, we've got Basic, Wifey, Squad, Goals, No Filter, MUA, Extra AF, TBT. And in Badass Bay, and I will say I also really like that the names of the shadows sort of connect in with the palette. In Badass Bay, we've got Clapback, Rebel, Breaking Rules, Own It, Get At Me, Yes, IDGAF, I don't give a something. But in particular in Self-Made, I just kind of love how uplifting the shadows names are. So we are just going to use a flat shader brush. This was just a brush I got in an Ipsy, and I'm going to use the flat end, and I'm going to go in with Self-Made. Another thing I really like about these palettes is that they come with a nice big mirror. I find a lot of drugstore palettes don't include a mirror. I believe these palettes are about $10, but I am going to leave all the pricing down below in Canadian. And anyway, so Self-Made Bay is just like, it's a really nice base color for me. It's just kind of like a matte, like a matte pinky ivory. So now what we're going to do is, using the crease side of it, I'm going to go in with Empire right here, which is like a nice, we're going to use it as a transition shade. It's a nice like mauve. And just so I always do my eyeshadow, I start by sort of lining a little bit there, and then we're going to build a little out in the crease. Now, I will say in this palette and in Basic Bay, I definitely find the shimmers perform better than the mattes. The mattes do take a little bit of work to get them where I want to get them. But for a drugstore formula and for the price, I'm really impressed. I will say they're not like crazy pigmented, but I'm 100% okay with that, because like I don't do really intense looks. I love just soft washes of color. I love color that you can build up. I love color that just is flattering for every day. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring a little bit more up here to kind of fill that in. And then I'm going to go just back on with this side, the flat shader brush. Actually, no, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to go in with Equal Pay, and we're just going to add a little bit more on this outer V. I just sort of decided I wanted just a little more. And I really like dipping into the purple part of this palette, because I feel like when I use purple shadow, it really brings out the green in my eyes. And I love accentuating that. Okay, so now we're gonna flip over to the other side. We're gonna go in with CEO, which is this beautiful kind of shimmery, like it's like a seashell type pink. It's so pretty. It's like It's like a very soft rose gold. And we are just going to put that all over the lid. Just give it that little tiny pop there. So now what I'm going to do is, instead of putting this under my brow, I'm going to reach back in to the highlighting palette. Just going to take another, just like a soft brush, and again, I'm going to more stick to Whistler and Surrey, and I'm just like doing that, do a little of this, and we're just going to just provide a little bit more lift by just putting this just right under there in my brow and in this, like in this little corner here. It's where it needs that little extra more. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab another brush. So I've just grabbed a really tiny little pointed brush from Too Faced. And what I'm going to do is, instead of having like eyeliner, we're just going to use Equal Pay again. Just build that up, and I'm just going to do sort of like a soft line just along the top, just to give it a little more. Now I did find, I don't know if you're going to pick it up on camera here, but I did find that this eyeshadow palette, and all of them do have a little bit more kickback than I'm used to, but I typically use higher end products, so I'm not really too worried about that. What we are just going to do now though is go back into this with this brush, and we're just going to put a little more of CEO on the lid, just because I don't want it to be too harsh. I'm just going to add a little bit of black eyeliner on my waterline. I didn't get sent any eyeliners, so I'm just using, this is just a Lise one. But I find just doing that just brings a look together. So I'm going to go in with my eyelash curler, and again, do those 1, 2, 3. And I was sent a mascara. And this is the Catrice Pret a Volume False Lash Mascara. And I've been really impressed with this one. So it has a fairly large brush. I hope you can see that kind of one end is flat and the other sort of expands out a little bit. But I like to get really close to the base of my lash, wiggle, and then sort of flick out to get just like a really nice, big, like fluffy doll lash look. And then for the inner lashes, I like to kind of push the mascara wand this way, so that way they're all nice and fanned out. So now for our lips, so I probably mentioned this before in the video, but Catrice is Essence's big sister brand. So I have this lip liner just hanging around by Essence that I'm going to use. I don't really think this counts as cheating because they're sisters, you know? But this is Essence's Stay 8-Hour Lip Liner. It's waterproof. It has a sharpener. I believe it's built in shade 3, So Default. So I'm just going to line my lips. So Catrice sent me 2 lipsticks. They sent me a beautiful red, number 9, in their plumping gel formula. They sent me this beautiful red. And then they also sent me like a shimmery purple. And I was really impressed by the formula. And so I picked up for myself 2 more in the same formula in 2 different nude shades. So this one is 4, which is a lot more like a rosy pink. And then this is 3. And 3 is a little bit more like a neutral, like a little bit more brown. So I'm going to use that one. And I think these lipsticks are amazing. They're only $9.99, which is a great price for a drugstore lipstick. They're really comfortable. I think they're luminous. They're very much my style. And another favorite product, this is the Dusty Rose Quartz Lip Gloss. And you guys know I love pink lip gloss, especially when it doesn't have like shimmer or glitter in it. So this one was sent to me. I'm just gonna tap that in kind of the middle of my lip. It has like a slight vanilla scent. It's really, really just lovely. So this is our completed look. So this is the completed look. I'm basically only wearing Catrice Cosmetics, except for there's a couple of products that I did highlight to you, and I think it is a really, really pretty look. If I had to pick just a couple of standout products to me, the top, let's do, okay, so let's start off with the foundation. I think the foundation is absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful coverage. It has a great wear time, and I love that the bottle, like, it feels luxurious, like it feels like it should cost more, you know? So this one I think is really, really nice. Definitely a fan. I would almost go as far to say as it might be my favorite drugstore foundation for filming. I have some other drugstore foundations that I prefer for everyday wear, but I think like if you were going to prom or like a wedding or any event where you're going to be photographed, like this foundation photographs so, so beautifully. And I mean, it looks beautiful in person too. It's just, it's really, really pretty. The Prime and Fine is really, really nice. I really like that tip I was showing you guys with the brush to just like pat it on. It feels great on the skin. It doesn't irritate at all. 50 ml. I really like this. I like that it's small, and I like that it's a plastic bottle. I think this would travel really well if we ever get to travel again. And I believe it comes in some other like finishes or colors or whatever. But like this is really nice and lightweight. And this was actually playing with these products was my first time using, like really using and thinking about a spray primer. I know Smashbox has one. We used it a little bit before, but this has really opened my eyes to spray on primers. Okay, next up, I think this blush is stunning. As I mentioned, this is one that I did by myself. I think it's so uplifting. It says "Go and Cheers." And for me, it's just a beautiful, just like flush of color. And I'm going to count these as one product, but it's the lips. Like you know what, Essence makes wonderful, wonderful lipsticks, so I am not surprised. Sorry about that. My camera just ran out of space, but the last category I wanted to talk about was lips. So I think these lipsticks are really, really beautiful. 9 or 090 is a really, really beautiful red, and 3 and 4 are just wonderful sort of pinky, like beigey, nude, like on me type of colors. I think are really pretty. And this lip gloss, it's not sticky. It's their Generation Plump and Shine lip gloss in Dusty Rose Quartz. It's exactly the kind of color I love, like a neutral or even slightly cool tone pink. I love just popping that on top of lipsticks. It just feels so pretty and polished. So those are a few of my favorites from Catrice Cosmetics, and this is the look. So what we're gonna do, I am gonna check in at the end of the night just to show you how it wore. It is now about 3 in the afternoon. I started putting my makeup on around like 1, I'd say. I've kind of been in and out, but as you can see, holding up really well. And yeah, so tonight I'll check in with you guys. See you in a few. So checking in at 8:30. You guys are probably noticing my lipstick color changing a lot. That's just because I've been filming a bunch of videos, and one of my ways that I like make the videos look different is I just change the lipstick color. This is a Bobbi Brown lipstick color I'm wearing. You can see the swatches of other things left over on my arms. But yeah, this is just using my natural window lighting. I really want you guys to see what it looks like in natural lighting rather than studio lighting. As you can see, it is still holding up really, really well. I'm super happy with it. The other thing is around here, there's just a little bit of texture, but I had chicken wings for dinner and I think it's just a little bit came off on my cheek when I wiped it off. So I don't blame the product. If you look really closely on my nose, the product is breaking down a little tiny bit there, but like not really. Like, I don't know, that's what happens when you wear makeup for the day. So yeah, this is how it's holding together and it's pretty great. However, it is going up for the test because we're gonna go for a walk. We usually go for a walk for about an hour. It is wearing beautifully. I really like this foundation. I would totally buy it again. Oh, and I checked, it's $13.99, which is awesome. Because so many drugstore products in Canada creep up close to the $20 mark, and then when they're at the $20 mark, I'm just like, buy a luxury product at that point. So, I'm just like checking myself up, but I'm really happy with how it looks. Hey guys, so I am back for our check-in. It is 12:25 in the morning, and I think, as you guys can see, the makeup has held up really, really well. Now you're probably gonna see a change on my lips. That's because after I had dinner, so for dinner we had chicken wings, and that definitely took the lipstick off. And so after that, I did a little bit more filming. Sorry, I should say after dinner, we went for a walk for about an hour just around. And I also did about another hour and a half of filming. And in my filming for every video, I just switched up the lipstick. I'd say the only like where I really see that's noticeable is right around here. I had to wipe off a little bit of chicken wing from after dinner, and I found that when I wiped it off, the texture is very like it didn't just like wipe off and then you didn't notice it. It's like I wiped it off and then I sort of had to like poke around a bit to get it to smooth out. The product has broken down a little bit around here on my nose and here on my nose, but I've had this on for basically 12 hours and like I went for a walk. The highlighter is still just gorgeous, lit from within. Eyeshadow, mascara, holding up wonderfully. Blush, I feel like this faded a little bit, but still very pretty. Like, I notice it because I'm literally staring at myself in the mirror right now. My mirror's like right there. But I don't know. I think it looks great. You know, there's no real creasing. There's no like migration. It's all... And honestly, I probably said this 1,000 times. I don't like matte liquid lipsticks, and so because I prefer satin lipsticks like the one I was wearing, I'm totally okay if it doesn't last forever. Easy to reapply, not a problem to me. Like, I think this makeup held up beautifully. I don't think it didn't really oxidize. I think it looks great. I'm super impressed. Like, I honestly am blown away. This foundation still looks amazing. Like, I hope you guys can see that just how great it looks. I did include some clips with daylight. Normally it's a little brighter because I've got like a window over there. And I still have a window, it's just dark. And then yeah, for our walk, I did put my hair up in a ponytail because I got a lot of hair. And like, honestly, this is basically how I'm gonna sleep with it. Yeah, like the lashes look great, no flaking. Like, it just all looks really, really good. Like, the foundation looks flawless. Like, maybe a little bit of texture in here, but nothing to complain about. I'm super impressed. So yeah, this is after 12 hours of wear. It is midnight, so I'm gonna take my makeup off and I'm gonna go to bed because I have a very busy day tomorrow planned. I'm going to Costco. And I do have a couple of videos I'll film tomorrow too. So anyways, enough about this. You can see how the makeup looks after 12 hours. You can judge it for yourself. I'm super impressed. So anyways, guys, so thank you for watching. That is the view. That is the check-in. This is the look. I'm really happy with it. It's super, super pretty. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Leave some comments. I love hearing from you guys down below, and let me know what you think of these full face videos. I've got a few more I've been thinking of, so I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments. Thanks, bye. Mwah.